today's episode we will be making a high-low circle skirt, and I will show you the proper way to take the measurement so you can have the exact length that you want in the front and the exact length that you want in the back. And we will also show you how to fully line the facing of this high-low circle skirt so you won't see any of the inside of the skirt when you're wearing it from the front. Okay everyone, let's get started. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and write the formula because we have to do a bit of math when we do this. And I'm actually left-handed, so I have to have the paper slanted. And there we go. Formula for high-low circle skirt. Okay, the formula is this. The formula is the waist measurement plus the number of seams minus 1 inch. That is how you're going to get the waist measurement for. I'm actually going to have to flip this, write this facing me, and when I edit the video I will flip the film so you guys can see what I'm doing. Hopefully it won't look too odd when I flip the film, but I have to do it this way because I'm having a really hard time writing upside down and writing around the camera. So this is the way it's gonna have to be for now. Okay, and then after you find this number, what you're going to do is you're going to look up that number and track it on the chart that is located at the link right there. You're gonna click on that link right there and find your waist measurement, and that's the number you're gonna use for the radius. And I'm gonna give you an example. For example, the skirt that I'm making today, the radius for the waist, the waist measurement is 24 inches. And the number of seams is 0 because I'm going to make this a circle skirt in one piece. There will be no seams. However, sometimes you want to make a circle skirt with seams. You're going to put either 2 seams or it's going to be 4 seams, something like that. So if you have seams, you're going to put that number right here. Okay, we don't have any seams today, so we're going to put in 0, and the total number of this equals 24, and 24 minus, okay, that number, I'm sorry, adjusted number minus 1 inch equals 23. And I know from experience that what really works for beauty in the type of fabric, actually this should be 25. I have 24 there. That should be 25. And this should be 24. And I know from experience from looking on the chart, when I look up 24, the adjusted waist measurement is radius equals 3.75. Now you're going to look on that chart and you're going to go through all of this, and you're going to look on the chart that I gave you and look for the final number, which is right here. that is the number you're looking for. Our final number was 24, and our adjusted waist, that is what we call the adjusted waist measurement, and the radius was 3.75. This is the number we're going to work with in order to make the waistband fit correctly, right to our measurements. And also this number is important for the next step as well. You need to know what your radius number is. Now, in order to figure out how much fabric you're going to need and how much paper you're going to need to make a pattern, because I highly suggest you make a pattern for this. You don't have to. You can draw the pattern right on the fabric if you want. And this just helps you figure out how much fabric you're going to need. So you're going to take the shortest length, because we're going to also make this the exact measurement that we want our circle skirt to be in the front and in the back, because you know it's going to be like there's a person here. I cannot draw, guys. And her skirt is a high-low circle skirt, so you know it's long in the back but it's short in the front, so her legs come out like this. And we're going to make sure that this measurement here and this measurement here is exactly where we want it at. So with Beauty's skirt, I want this to be 8 inches because she's extremely short. And I want this to be 20 inches. And that would put it just above, probably at ballerina length, for 20 inches for Beauty. And this is what I want. And this 8 inches would put it mid-thigh, because her thighs are like only 12 inches long. So that 8 inches would put her just above her knees. And this is the formula that you're going to use to achieve that. Please don't judge me by my drawings, as my drawings are extremely ridiculous. I can't do it. So you're going to take the adjusted. You're going to take your short number, which is 8, the short length. And ours is 8. And we're going to add that to the long length, which is 20. And we're going to also add that, I'm sorry, and that totals 28. We're going to take our radius number, which our radius was 3.75, multiply that by 2. So this is the formula. You're going to take your radius and multiply that by 2. And our answer is 7.5. And then you add 7.5 and 28 together, which we come up with 35.5. This is the total amount of fabric I'm going to need for 1/4 of the skirt. And I'm working with 60-inch fabric, which means that I would have to work with about 2 yards of fabric to do this. And if my fabric wasn't so long, I would actually have to make this in 2 sections. I would have to make a half of a skirt and another half of the skirt. There would be no way I could make that in one piece of fabric, 35 inches. 35.5 inches in one piece of fabric if I was not using extra wide fabric, which is around 65 inches wide. So this is my total amount. So I'm going to take this 35.5 times 2. So that means I would need about 2 yards of fabric. Okay, that's how you know how much fabric you're going to need. So the next thing we're going to do, we have a little bit more math, is we're going to draw out a pattern. You can draw this pattern out on your fabric. I've done it before. Or you can draw a paper pattern and you can have your paper pattern for every time you want to do this, and you won't have to go through this math ever again unless you go up or down the sides. Okay, let's get into the actual pattern. Okay, we're going to pretend like this paper here is our fabric. I'm going to fold it in half. We pretend like we have 35.5 inches of fabric. Well, a yard of fabric folded in half. Okay? The fold goes right here. and I'm gonna fold it again. So now I should have one fold right here, one fold right here, and I should have 1, 2, 3, and 4 loose parts right here. Okay, so we got that so far. We're going to mark this letter A, and we're going to mark this letter Z, and from A to Z is 1/2 of the total length. So our total length was 35.5. We're gonna divide that by 2, which will be what, 11.5? Let me make sure. Oh, 35.5 divided by 2 is 17 3/4. I was completely off. This is why I don't do mental math. Okay, so from A to Z, this measurement here is 1/2 of the total measurement. And my 1/2 of the total measurement was 17.75. Okay, then the next number we're going to do is we're going to mark the short length of this, we're going to mark the short length of the skirt, and we're going to go from here, from number Z up. So the short length of our skirt is going to be 8. Let's say that's about here, and we're going to label that Y. I'm just guesstimating. This is nowhere near to scale, so we're just going to work with it. See right here, this is A to Z. That is from A to Z is the 1/2 of the entire length, okay? And from Y to Z is the measurement of the short end of the skirt, okay? And then from Y to X, we're going to mark the radius. Our radius here was 3.75 inches, so I'm gonna say it's right there. And we're gonna subtract 1/2 inch from that for the seam allowance. So actually from here to here, I'm going to mark 3.25 inches. Okay, once again, this is 1/2 of the total length. This from here, from the hem to here, is the total of the short end, which was 8. And from here, from here to here is the amount for our to mark our waistband, okay? And the radius for our waistband. Okay, let's go ahead and go to the next step. One moment. Okay, I'm back. I had to go get a ruler. I should have had that with me. Now, starting from here, we're going to mark all the way around to decide how we're going to do the circle skirt. And you know, when you make a circle skirt, the way you do it is you start at the radius, you make a little dot, and this is how we know how to make sure that the hem is the way we want it. See that? And I'm just going to follow these dots when I cut it. Let me start over because I messed up. I moved, there we go. I moved the measurement, and that's not what I wanted to do. Okay. I'm going to mark this all the way around. And you'll see the circle skirt start to develop. One moment. I'm going to mark it all the way until we get to this other hem there. I'm sorry, to the other fold. And this is what we're going to cut out. So we're going to cut all of this out. And when you do it that way, you know that your skirt is the way you want it. I'm going to go ahead and cut it out. And my high-low circle skirt is going to be the length that I want it in the front, exactly, and the length that I want it in the back, exactly. Okay? Now, the next thing we're going to do is we cut the circle out. Okay? Now we're going to open it up and we're going to refold it. Okay? Using the X as the line that we want to fold it on, because the X is where we want our actual waist to be. And now, ignore my bad cutting there. Now we're going to mark out the actual radius for the skirt, for the waist, and we're going to do that the same way that we marked out the hemline. The only difference is we're going to use our actual radius number here. So our radius number was 3.75, and that's what we're using to mark it out. And I cut out the waistline, and now you can see if I cut that out properly. Let me clean that up, because apparently today my paper cutting skills are off. I don't know why. Let me clean it up. See, it looked decent when we cut it through it, because it's not supposed to be like that at all. It's supposed to be more like this. Okay. Now when we open it up, you see there's a pattern. Let me zoom out some. And I'm gonna put a dark piece of fabric under this. Actually, we use my board that I have my storyboard on. Now you can see that there's an actual pattern here. This is the front, this is the back. The waist is exactly where we want it. The front is exactly long as we want it, and the back is exactly long as we want it. So when we fold it into a circle skirt, we have our measurements exact. This is what you're going to use for your pattern. Okay? Now what you want to do is you could actually cut this in half, so you won't have to have this full pattern. And you want to create your style lines. You can either leave it like this, or you could shape it up a bit, make it a little bit more round on the sides here if you would like. I like to do that sometimes, is I'll make it a little bit more round with my hip curve. Let me get around there. Get it exactly like I want it. Like if you wanted it to be pointy, a little bit more pointy at the bottom, you could go like that. And you'll have a curve here still, but that'll be pointy. But if you want it to have a little curve right here, you can add some more paper on here, and you can curve it out some more, however way you want to do it. We're gonna just work and if you want it to be like a little curvy right here, you can cut that, you know, like I just showed you, and cut that out. So now instead of having the normal circle skirt, you would have something that looks like this, which is even more dramatic. See, if you put it like that, this will be the front, this is your waist, and then it goes in a diagonal in the back, or you could have left it the way it was and it would be completely round in the back, however you want to do it. So now then you can cut this in half. If you're using seams, you'll be able to put your seam allowances on here. If not, you would put this section here on the fold. So I'm gonna write that. And it really does not matter what the grain line is because it's a circle skirt. Circle skirts are automatically on the bias. So you would fold your fabric. You would fold your fabric once and twice. You're going to put, no, I'm sorry, once, not twice. You're gonna fold it. This is where the fold is, and this is where you're going to place your pattern on the, let me zoom out some. This is where the fold is, and that's where, actually I folded my fabric the wrong way. This is where the fold is, right here. We're gonna fold it lengthwise, and this is how you're gonna place that. You see that? This is the short end. This is the long end. You're gonna place it right here. You're gonna trace around it like this. My daughter's coming home from school, so you hear her unlocking the door. You're gonna trace around it like this. And you're gonna trace in the waist, take it off, and you cut that out, and you cut this out, and then you have your circles, your high-low circle skirt. Now when you do this, you're gonna cut this pattern out for the high-low circle skirt that we're doing today. You're gonna cut this pattern out twice. So you have that, and you have that. If you I'm back. My battery went out, but I'm back. If you do not have enough fabric to cut this out, if the length is too long, to cut this out in one piece, or if you wanted to use this as a style opportunity to have your high-low circle skirt to be one color in the front and another color in the back. Let me take the pattern. That was our fake fabric. If you want to take this as an opportunity to have the circle skirt be one color in the front and another in the back, this fold right here would be the midline. You would cut it right here. You would cut it right here. And now you have a pattern to have one color front, one color in the back, and you can color block it. Or you could keep it like this, have one color on one side and one color on the other side. All you would have to do, where we have placed on the fold, instead of placing it on the fold, you would add a seam allowance right here. And if you were to cut this apart, you would add a seam allowance right here and a seam allowance right here. You could potentially have a high-low skirt with 4 different colors. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Or you could have it in 2 colors, like this, or with one half one color and the other half another color. Or you could have it where you place this on the fold and have that bottom half one color in the back, and you place this on the fold and you'll have a different color in the front. And I think actually I'm going to do some tutorials showing you all of that. But right now what I'm going to do with this skirt is I'm going to put this on the fold. I'm going to make one skirt one color, and I'm going to cut it out again a second time on the fold again with a different fabric, and we're going to make a 2-toned circle skirt where it's one color on this side and on the other side it's another color. Let me go get my fabric. I'm going to cut it out. I'm going to cut it out already. Actually, I already have it cut it out because I was making a bunch of these. And I just decided to go ahead and do a tutorial on how to do it. So I'm going to go get the fabric and we're going to sew it together, and you'll see what it looks like completed, and we'll put it on Beauty when she comes home from school and you guys will see her model it. I'll be right back. One moment. Okay, this is the high-low circle skirt that I'm making today. As you can see, this is the low part, this is the high part. I haven't decided if this is going to be the inside or the outside yet. But this is one half, and this is the, nope, that is not the other half, that is the waist fabric. This is the other half that we're going to line it with. So now you can see the opportunity you have when you actually make your pattern. You have the opportunity of making some design elements with your pattern. So I'm going to make a full facing to line this, and several things is going to happen. Number one, we won't have to hem it because the raw edge will be enclosed into the skirt, and when we top stitch it, it will also keep it from unraveling. Now if you were to be making this to wear, with this being the nature of a circle skirt is automatically on the bias, so after you cut your circle skirt out, before you sew it together, you're going to cut out the lining and you're going to cut out the body, and you're going to hang it up and let it hang out for like a week or two so it could stretch. Okay, that's what the bias does. It stretches over time. So you let it stretch out for about a week, hang it up, let it stretch out for a week, and then you line up the two pieces together like this at the waist, and then you even out the hemline, because if you don't do that, you can wind up with an uneven hem. I guess it really doesn't matter if it's a high-low circle skirt and it has an uneven hem, because the nature of a high-low circle skirt is to have an uneven hem. But you're going to line it up like this, and now we're going to sew around the edge. I'm going to sew, I think I gave it a 1/2 inch hem. We're going to sew all the way around the edge, completely enclose it, 100% enclose it. I actually have a tutorial on how to do that and why we're doing that and how to turn it to the right side and all that good stuff and top stitch it. And that tutorial is right there. Click right there and you'll find the link. Take you right to that video, and also you can click on the link inside of the description box to that video as well. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to sew that around. I'm going to turn this to the right side, top stitch it, and when I come back you'll see what it looks like, and all we'll have left to do is to put on the waistband. Okay, I'll be right back. This is the completed skirt. As you can see, this is one fabric print. This is the other print, and if you were wearing it, instead of looking at the raw fabric on the other side of the skirt, I'm trying to do this with one hand because I'm holding the camera with my other hand instead of using the tripod. But as you can see, if you're wearing it, instead of looking at the raw side of the fabric, you will be looking at another print. I put some elastic in the waist to make it reversible, but I don't know how much I'm liking that. I may just go ahead and put a zipper on it. We'll get it on Beauty, and then I'll decide how it looks after we try it on her. But here is the other side, and here's the top, and here's the other print. And so when you're wearing it, instead of looking at the ugly side of the fabric, you're looking at an entirely new print. You can use this as a design detail when you're making yours, when you're designing your outfit, or you can just make the same print on the inside and on the outside. I've done that before too. Well, we're going to go ahead and put it on Beauty, take some video, and then I'll decide after that if I want to keep the elastic or if I want to do a zipper, but I'm leaning heavily towards the zipper. We'll see. Okay, well, meet you outside. One moment. Okay, this is the completed skirt. Beauty, turn around to the back. Turn around to the back and turn around to the front. And I'm going to zoom in to the bottom so you can see Beauty. I got to zoom in to the bottom. Move your shoes. If you can see, turn around some more. Like fast. More. Okay, there we go. Now you can see the hem on the back, the other color, the lighter color fabric, and you can see the darker color on top. So now you're not looking at the wrong side of the fabric when you have on your high-low skirt. And I also put elastic in the waist because I wanted to make this a reversible skirt, but I don't know how much I'm liking that. Beauty, stand up. I don't know how much I'm liking that. I might just go ahead and take the elastic out and go ahead and put a zipper like I normally do. I'm gonna go ahead and take her in the house, and we're gonna flip the skirt over to the other side and let her put her heels on, and then we'll come back out and take more video. One moment. Okay, here is the skirt again with the light color on top and the dark on the bottom. Go ahead and turn to the back, Beauty. And you can spin around. Okay, that's good. Now come, let me zoom into the hemline again. And you can see on the bottom, Beauty, pull your shirt down. You can see on the bottom, once again, instead of looking at this skirt, seeing the wrong side of the fabric, you see a totally different print. And I did put elastic in the waist to make it reversible, but I don't know how much I'm liking that. I'm probably just gonna go ahead and put a reversible zip in there and make it reversible that way. Okay, well, that's it, guys. We'll see you next time, and as usual, say it with me, Beauty. Happy sewing. Bye.